All right, everybody, welcome to yet another amazing episode of Roll or Die. This week we have the amazing Jihad Bekai from G-Force MMA Jiu-Jitsu out in Faulkner. Is that correct, brother? Have I said that correctly?
Correct.
Awesome.
Correct.
Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
And Jihad, we've got you on to get to know you and to have a chat, but also to talk about an event that you've got coming up. Can you tell us about what's happening at your club?
Yeah, so we've established a new venue. It's almost 1,000 square meters in total.
Nice.
And one of the intentions behind that was in the hope to run kids competitions, because I've always been heavily focused on the kids movement in jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
So I set everything up in the beginning with that in mind. And now we've been trying to proceed with our first event, which has been shut down numerous times. But what we're doing is a kids round robin, running properly on smooth comp with proper referees. And we have all our mats by design set out according to competition mats. So we have like 5 comp mats and a massive pen area where they can actually wait to be called in to fight in comp.
Wow.
On that, we have screens fixed on the walls permanently for the scoreboards. And we have the whole venue set up with wireless microphones, PA system, and wireless video. The wireless video is used to stream the laptops onto the scoreboards so that the scoreboard operators that run the laptops don't actually need to have the laptop wired in. It will just be through Wi-Fi, and it'll be broadcasting to the scoreboard screens. Also, we've set up live streaming. So to minimize, as you know, with COVID, to minimize, because, for example, at the moment, we have about 110 kids registered. If each kid brings 2 people, that's 300. That's just 2 parents. Then if they bring friends, you know, it can blow out with a huge number of attendees. So the idea is we're going to allow 2 people per child, so probably 2 parents, and 1 coach per team. And then we'll live stream all formats. So we'll run formats and we'll live stream, so friends and additional family members can just broadcast in from work or home or wherever they are. And we've also created a wireless weigh-in station, which will be out the front. So we'll disperse the crowding or minimize the crowding. And the idea is to make the tournament in line with competition, but friendly. So there'll be no disqualifications. Kids will be advised what to do and how to perform. And we're trying to relieve the pressure so that a kid who's been training for 2 months can still enter and not feel the pressure. If they make mistakes, they're not going to have the fight ended. They'll be advised early. Also, we won't let advanced kids smash beginner kids. So we're talking to all the parents when they register. How good's your kid? How hard do you want his competition? And parents are very happy. You know, I've got a lot of feedback, because you're not going to get that normally in a comp. No. Someone asking you, what level do you want for your kid? Do you want him to have a hard time, or and parents will actually be very open about it. They'll be like, I want hard competition for my kid. Yeah. My kid's good. Give me someone tough, and I'm happy if he loses. And other parents will be like, my kid's nervous. Can you make sure they've got someone easy? And that's the idea of this competition, that I will sit and have those conversations, and I will match those families together so that they can grow together and get to know that competition it's good to have those little bit of nerves, but not to the point where you actually hate the experience.
That's brilliant, man.
That's the idea at this.
That's brilliant. I mean, there's 2 things, first of all, and because Kim and I tend to alternate in the way we ask questions, right? But the first thing is, what a great idea to build a gym that's actually a comp space as well. So good for when you're training, so good for, you know, mock competitions and then real competitions. Like, that's brilliant, man. And I don't see that happening in many gyms. So that's awesome. But I guess my question is, what had you originally decide that you really wanted to focus on the kids? Where's this drive come from?
So the drive comes because I've got 4 kids.
Okay.
When I started training on my first day, my intention was that my kids are going to train. So when I started as a white belt, my kids started training at the same time I started training. Now I'm their coach. So, you know, fathering and raising children, it's something that I'm very big on, especially coming from Middle Eastern background where there isn't a great emphasis on raising your kids. It's just like, if you feed them, you've done your job. And I'm really against that. Okay. I'm very highly driven that there's much more required from parenting than feeding your kids. Yeah. In fact, that's not even important. They should be dieting, you know.
Yeah.
They should be dieting.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Now
more on raising.
That's awesome. I can't think of a setup like that actually, even for adults. Like that's just amazing, the technology and stuff like that you've got. And hopefully, yeah, it will go a long way towards making it a positive experience for kids.
Yeah, like I've even made like a really good what are the boxes called where they stand first, second, third place?
Podium.
The podium. Yeah. I've made a very good
black
podium.
belt, everybody. I swear to God, he's a black belt.
I'm getting older, but the memory. So I've made a nice podium, and I've even got a smoke machine. And they'll climb up on nice big blocks. I've made a nice banner, and they'll get to take photos. And if they want, you know, they've got a button they can hit, and they'll actually can have smoke. I've even got laser lights I've bolted into the ceiling.
Man, you're a technological wizard. You are amazing.
So there's laser lights. If you've seen my Instagram, sometimes I show. Sometimes when kids are training, with parents' permission, I turn the lights off and turn the laser lights on.
Wow.
And the kids actually, they beg for that day. So they roll with limited vision. It's all laser. So it's basically like you're rolling in a party, you know, with all the laser lights and the different shapes. And the kids, they love it because, you know, you're not going to get that experience these days. Yeah. So I've already got them ready for training as well. So when they behave and they, you know, I sort of have it as a reward. I say, all right, last 10 minutes. And I know it's a bit weird for the parents, but I turn all the lights off. So it's actually dark and I turn laser lights. And then the kids roll. They can still see, but obviously it's a different effect.
I'm turning 47 or 48 or something on August 25th. Could I like book your gym for an adult BJJ laser party? Like, because that is what I'm down for, man. Like, do you do adult gigs as well?
Definitely, it's actually fun. And sometimes what I do is after they roll with the laser lights on, because there's a big screen TV as well, like bolted on the wall in the center. Yeah. And I put on meditation. I put the laser lights on and I get them all to lay down as to relax at the end of the rolling session. And then they just hear like a calm voice telling them, you know, giving them some nice advice about how to relax and stuff like that. They even love that. They just lay there and the parents just watch them and they do not move for like 5 minutes. And there's just laser lights and they just close their eyes and they listen to this voice. And at the same time, you know, for competition, I'll use it there, but also in normal classes, I'll do something special for them.
And getting back to kids, so you've said that you coach kids. We've had quite a few kids coaches on with their kind of take on it. What's your kind of advice for anyone that is looking to coach kids? What's the secret?
So firstly, you have to be realistic and you have to like kids. You have to love kids. Okay. And I'll be honest, I know black belts that are very straight out to me. And that was one of the reasons that drove me to actually become a coach when they actually said, I hate coaching kids. And I took a bit of offense to that. But if that's how they feel, then, I mean, they still coach kids till today. And I know this is what, you know, one in particular have said. And I've heard a few others mention that they're not that keen on children in general. They're annoying. So you got to be realistic because you're not going to perform well if kids annoy you. Now, obviously, kids can be annoying, but you have to love kids and you have to sort of be on their level to understand how to address and how to get them to perform. So if you're a person that loves kids, because you see some people are great around kids. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it. They're friendly. They'll jump down and become like a kid. And they could spend hours and hours. They love the kids. They have good intentions towards them. They want them to have a great future. If you're that type of person, then you have to have the skills. So you have to educate yourself on, okay, it's not an adult now. How would you get a kid to train who has a very short attention span and is going to get bored very quickly? So then it becomes, are you willing to educate yourself on how to create knowledge that's fun to attain and a reward system that is reasonable, but doesn't make them only rely on reward because there's also negative impacts for reward based only. So there has to be a balance of there can be rewards when you perform, but you also need to perform if there is no reward. So you can't just be a good person because you're going to, you know, because you're getting paid and it's part of your job. You need to be a good person, you know, without any gain at the end of it. Just, you know, that also needs to be, you need to be able to teach that. So the advice would be, firstly and first and foremost, you have to love children. Then you have to be willing to educate yourself on how to train them in a fun way. And you're never going to get it right ever. You're going to need to be constantly evolving to improve yourself, because it's a child. It's a completely different perspective you've actually forgotten about as you age, but you don't realize.
Wow.
You actually forget how you were when you were a child and what you loved. You need to tap back into that, and you need to make it fun, and not and as well not waste families' time. Because if they're just coming for fun, then why are they bringing them to your gym? So they need to be good, they need to be technical, but they also need to have mercy to the smaller kids. They need to have respect. They need to understand that what they know is actually dangerous. So they can't use it in play fights or at school. And it has to be fun all the way. And you need to build that connection with the kids, so they actually look up to you as a coach, and they know you actually have their interest in mind, that you care about them. But I'm also strict as well, so they can't run in and just run around. I have rules that I teach them. So when they come in, they need to sit down straight away, cross their legs, and wait for 5 minutes without speaking. So they have to have that respect, that they need to wait for a coach to come in and give them permission to get up and start training. And I'm also a kid as well. When I say it's playtime, I can run around on the floor and act like a kid. But, there's a time for everything. When I'm serious, they need to stop and not talk and listen. And when it's time to play, I'll play like a kid, and, I'll buy them gifts and toys and make it fun.
What sort of reward systems would you use, Jihad? You mentioned those.
Yeah. So, for example, sometimes, and this is a bit contradictory, but sometimes, not always, it'll be lollies. One lolly. So if they achieve a certain thing, and I know it's contradictory to what we do, but most kids are going to have it at some stage. Parents will control it, and I do recommend dieting and everything, but occasionally I'll have lollies, one per kid in certain challenges. If they achieve something bigger, so I have a whiteboard, and I have all the students' names on a magnetic card, and we have like a hierarchy. If you behave well, your name goes higher. So the kids can walk in and they can see how high their name is on the rank on the whiteboard. They're all stuck on there. Ooh. At the end of the month, if a kid has behaved consistently well, I'll actually buy like good toys, like remote control cars, various, toys, and I'll name a kid that's performed the best, and I'll give him like an expensive toy. I'll be looking at also like vouchers, cinema tickets, time zone passes, and things like that. If kids work towards it and perform for a month, so it's not just to get a lolly, which is like an activity reward at times. I'll go out and buy things for them.
That's really cool.
Awesome.
Amazing. Now let's shift gears. Actually, what I'll do, I'll quickly share my screen now, because I want to and we'll post this link up to your event when we post the podcast. But
22nd of August, yeah. So we'll get this podcast out probably within the week, so that hopefully that will give us enough time, because they've got to the 20th of August to register. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right. So they register through Smooth Comp. It's going to be in Fork now with all the laser lights and all the stuff. There's all the features and benefits here. You really are the real deal, Jihad, man. Like, there's
Thank you.
so much leadership in what you're doing here, and really kind of, I guess, just not the normal stuff, and the normal stuff.
I've not seen this in an adult comp, so this is amazing.
So it's really interesting what you're doing, and I really hope people get behind it and get behind you. So that's that. And as I said, we'll post that link. Then you've got this other thing you're doing, which is, really amazing to see as well. This is the Victorian Kids Open Mat. So do you want to talk a little bit about what that's all about?
Yeah. So what I noticed over time, and we've been heavily competing, especially in the kids division, for like 8 years now. So what I've seen is rivalry and nerves. So if a kid's really good, and it can happen both ways, but sometimes, like, we've entered competitions, and I've actually heard families, and some have even approached me, and their kids don't want to compete when they see like G-Force kids there. Yeah. Because they probably know some of the kids. They know that they're probably going to lose to a certain kid. That can be hard to deal with, because how are you going to perform at your best? It's like even as an adult, if you're going to fight someone you're going to lose, it's hard to be motivated. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But if you like the guy, you'd actually compete against him. Like, think about it. If you were going to roll someone you can't beat, but you liked him, you'd still compete against him, wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. But if you didn't know him, you'd be like, why am I going just so the guy can belt me in front of everyone? So, and also with the competition being delayed over and over again, I thought, this will be a great idea. Let's have a regular open mat. I know it's going to take time and people, you know, are going to hear about it slowly. But if we have an open mat where all these kids meet each other and become friends, and in that open mat, which we already ran one, so the first one just passed and it was actually really good, they'll play games together. And the games are heavily focused on group-based games where you can't actually win if one person loses. Your whole team has to win for you to win. So it's like groups of 8, and whatever the challenges are, all 8 have to complete the challenge. Now you're creating friendships between, you know, across Victoria from all over the place. Beautiful. And then they can without that pressure, which I'm assuming you'll perform better. You'll perform better because even if you know you're going to lose, it's a friend now. It's someone you're going to see week in the open mat and talk about it.
I love it. I absolutely love that.
That's awesome.
And
even outside of comps, I mean, I've met a lot of people through jiu-jitsu that I haven't competed against, but they've become my friends. So I think it's just great at building that network from kids from a young age. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the idea. So, like I said, the first one was a success. I'm hoping. I mean, sometimes I've run similar events and I've had almost 100 kids turn up.
Wow.
I'm hoping to hit 100 kids, and also there's going to be friendships with the adults that bring them, that are going to see the place, and hopefully you guys come too soon. When they do come, they are like amazed at the size of the place, and they see straight away the effort that's been put in. And you'll only know when you come. There's 3 levels. It's 3 levels. We've got ground level, and then we've got 2 upstairs levels. So you've got 3 levels altogether with various setups in all the different areas. We've got 4 showers that I put in myself, like state of the art, with 4 toilets. And we've set up, like I told you, I've got electric chair that with a motorized, like you can sit in a chair and get dragged up to the ceiling by a remote control.
Have you got that video, Anton, that he sent us? You should show that on the.
I don't know.
Yeah, so there's a motorized seat.
Yeah, okay, I'll call that up. Give me a sec. Yeah, that's a good idea. And while we're doing that, one of the things I'd be interested in, like, jihad translates to struggle. That's one of the translations, man. And I'm fascinated. Did your parents name you Jihad?
Yeah, and from memory, I'm pretty sure my mum said she was watching the news when she gave like birth to me, or around the time, and she heard him saying jihad, jihad.
Yeah.
So it was from then about this jihad business, and then she named the name, and then it still continued on as I aged. They still kept saying holy jihad and holy war, and it went on. But the definition is never actually, any dictionary you look up, it never says holy war.
No, it says struggle, and I love it. Like, because that's how I know you struggle. When we meet at the monthly masters or wherever we meet, man, you're a real trouble. You're a lot of struggle to deal with. So I think it's a completely appropriate name, man. Oh God, but yeah, that's great. And like your life. I mean, you seem like a really switched on, really dialed in guy. What has life been? All roses for you, or has it been a roller coaster like everybody else? What's life like?
It's been quite the opposite, actually. It's been quite the opposite. I feel like my life is the exact opposite. My upbringing is the exact opposite of how I live at the moment. The exact opposite. So I feel that everything that went wrong and all the hardships and all the things that you bottle up inside, that you hide away, that the negative experiences, I hid them from my children and from my life. For example, like some funny examples is like my kids, when they hear that someone hits a kid, they spoke to me about it once. They wanted to know if this is true, if a kid can actually be hit by his parents. Wow. And the innocence was just what got me, because I was thinking, if I could go back and play the videos of my childhood, they wouldn't believe it's real.
Yeah.
Because they were the exact opposite. So I like to hide. I learned a lot from it. And, I'm very big on treating children the same way you would treat an adult, the same rights and the same respect, because people diminish their rights because they're small and weak and you're big and strong. That's the reality of it. If the child was bigger and stronger than you, I guarantee the majority of parents will have a different approach to how they deal and handle.
Yeah.
It's a form of oppression because you have someone weak in your care that you can actually boss around.
Man, so true. So true.
So
we've got some photos of your gym here. And this is it just looks amazing. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
So here's those permanently set up monitors.
Yeah.
All that mat space here. What else have we got? Wow.
There's the 65-inch 65-inch timer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Big
That's good for people like me that are a bit blind, can't see the time. That's good. How much longer can I stall it out for? Sorry, no, never.
Is the electric chair, as you call it. I think you should.
Yeah.
I think the electric chair is a good name for it. When you tell kids, I've got an electric chair there, they're probably
100%.
But yeah, that's cool. It's like a really comfy chair that you can elevate.
Yeah. I control it will take you up and take you across the building.
Yeah. What? Oh, you can go across as well.
Wow.
It's on the beach.
This is amazing. Wow. I think that's all the photos we've got. So
yeah, no, that's enough. That's fantastic.
Cool. Yeah.
Jihad, just switching gears, we always ask. We've talked a lot about the kids and about the comp, etc. But it would be remiss of us not to talk a bit about you as well and like your jiu-jitsu journey. So we ask pretty much all our guests about how they got started, like what brought you to jiu-jitsu, how have you found it? Yeah, tell us about that.
When I was younger, I grew up in a bit of a rough lifestyle. So I started off with kickboxing when I was younger. So I've always had that defend yourself mentality, aggressively defend yourself. So I had that bit of a hard background. That's why a lot of people that meet me now, they're quite shocked when they remember how I was, and they find it very unusual that I have a soft nature, which has changed deliberately from the age of 20. I really changed where I wanted to head in life. But yeah, so from that background of defending yourself, and I'm strongly against oppression and bullying. Maybe I've seen a lot of it in my childhood, so I've always grown up against it. And then with the UFC and the small man idea of defeating a larger opponent and that anyone's able to defend themselves, I started, once all that was out, I started researching jiu-jitsu gyms, and I started popping in. And it's funny what my intention was, because now that I'm the head coach, I'm a black belt. So I'm imagining if someone did to me what I did to all these guys that I was visiting. So to be honest, I went in and it was just a challenge. So I went in and I said that I can fight 100%. That was all I wanted to do, because I just wanted to see. And I was doing gym and stuff at the time. I was pretty heavy, solid. And I went around from gym to gym, and you know how many people just said no and couldn't wait for me to leave? I was like, do you have confidence that I can just like fight 100%? But obviously, no bad, you know what I mean? Yeah. No bad intentions. I believe they could control me.
Wow.
Yeah, and we went around, and majority said no, but I ended up finding a place, and one of his blue belts. So we ended up like...
You're a pretty big guy. Are you around 100 kilos?
120.
Yes. I mean, imagine if you got some new guy that came in and just wants to go against anyone at that size. Of course, people said no. Yeah. Like, sorry.
I was watching kilos and a bad attitude. I love it.
Yeah, I was watching Voice Gracie, so I was like, it's all good. They're going to just, I want to see how they get the control and all that.
Yeah.
With a blue belt, and he couldn't do anything. So, but I couldn't submit him. I didn't know anything. So it ended up being a draw, and went like 4 or 5 rounds. I still remember the guy. He was struggling very bad. And he was big too. That's the biggest guy he could find. He was similar size, maybe 90 kilos. And then the coach goes, I'm a bit injured at the moment. He goes, otherwise I would have went with you. And it sort of went from there until I rolled someone that was very good. And then I loved it. And that's when I grabbed my kids. And then it started from there. When I first actually signed up, I was training 7 days a week, every single class, like the morning sessions, day, night, it just didn't matter.
How old was that? Sorry?
I started my first day 34 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, same. That's when I started as well. Yeah, we would have been similar, Anton.
35, yeah, but you guys have got black belts. I'm at my purple, so something's wrong with me.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome. No, that's great. It's a very similar story, I think, that we've heard with, I guess, people finding jiu-jitsu changes them. So have you found, like, you mentioned about becoming softer, although it sounds like you were perhaps already on the path, but in what ways did you find that jiu-jitsu kind of helped you soften your nature and things like that?
Yeah, so what I realized is the more skilled you are, I guess, well, I'd be speaking from my perspective anyway, and I think it'd probably be the majority. The more skilled you are, the more calm you become, and the more difficult it is to actually get you angry, because you're really consumed by actually becoming very skillful in martial arts. So I found that all my energy after that was trying to get as good as possible. So it was very difficult, for example, in a road rage incident or any type of confrontation, very difficult to get me angry now. Because I think anger stems from the unknown. That's what I've come to conclude. It's the unknown. So if you're in a road rage or you're in an incident, usually you'll see two people or a group of people. No one's really, there's a lot of unknown about what's going to happen. So people go into fight or flight, so it's instant aggression because you're not sure what's going to happen. The thing is with me now, I know exactly what's going to happen. He doesn't. So I'm all good from that point onwards.
Yeah,
so
it's just that confidence, yeah,
I know
yourself, in your abilities.
Yeah, it's not going to pan out any other way. I mean, anything's possible, but if I was to be in a confrontation, it's not going to pan out any other way except the way that I envision. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
You know, so you're not going to get me angry because there's nothing unknown about what's going to happen if I was to make that decision. So I never make it because there's no point. And people have done road rage, like they've cut me off, stuck their finger up, screamed, opened doors, and they just see me smiling. I have no interest at all. Whereas in the past, I probably would have got angry.
Yeah.
You know, with a little bit of knowledge, you're more dangerous.
That's true. You know, I've heard that. I actually used to think it was because we're so exhausted from jiu-jitsu that we just don't have any more energy to get out and do anything about that road rage at the time. So, yeah. But it's exactly what you're saying. I know myself, like when I partner and roll with white belts, their breathing is very intense, very laboured. And, you know, I have to sort of remind them, like, relax, try and control your breathing, try and slow down. But I think maybe that just comes with time and then, like I said, with skill of being able to relax in the moment. But it does definitely translate off the mat as well, 100%.
Yeah, but in an incident, what are they presenting? They're presenting to you what you've just done a couple of hours ago. They're offering, like if you were to be cut off or someone was to threaten you, they're just presenting another round that you've already done 3 or 4 rounds earlier that day. So there's nothing to think about. Right. And, you know, funny on this topic, because I've got cameras on my car, HD cameras front and rear, you know, 24 recording.
And lasers.
You know, lasers. So I had an incident where this crazy guy was really angry and he cut me off and actually forced me to pull over, and he ran out of the car. It's all on camera, and he ran at me and he's telling me to get out and all this kind of stuff. And I was laughing and everything. Sometimes that bothers them. I was laughing thinking, what should I do? And I knew there's cameras there, but there was a bit of traffic. And no jokes, I had this plan, but I didn't end up doing it. But if it happens again, I'm actually going to do this. So I opened my door and I saw him running at me and I started laughing and I just started driving the car slowly and he was dying for me to get out of the car, which would have just led to his demise. So I'm not sure what he was looking for, but I drove away slowly. But I was thinking, you know, as a skilled person that trains every day, what is the best way to deal with someone like that? And I was thinking what I should have done is got out and pulled De La Riva guard and just worked sweep. And got 2 points and ran back into the car and took off. Kept the footage. Okay, that would have been, because it wouldn't have been illegal. It wouldn't have been an assault. I would have pulled guard. He came. I'd get the sweep, get up, raise 2 points, and run. In the day, I still won the fight.
That's beautiful, man. That is so good. So
I want to see that on dash cam videos next month.
Yeah.
Put that up.
Really looking for a fight. You pull guard and sweep.
Yeah. Man, switching gears again one more time. We're kind of running out of time now, but you've made a lot of really funny videos over the years, man. Is that, like, I haven't seen as many lately. Is that like now you're a black belt, you don't make funny videos anymore or something? Or like, what's with that?
Yeah, you know how many people keep asking me, please, we need another video. I've just gotten busy, but I enjoy that stuff. You know, how many students I've thrown out on camera and people think it's real, the fight with Kit Dale.
Yeah.
Yes.
Teaching fake techniques that people ring me and say, is that real or are you joking? They're not sure.
Man.
And I love
escape. Yeah.
Yeah, I love humor where people aren't sure if you're joking. That's my kind of humor. Where you can be very serious and they're just not sure.
Yeah. Have you got a YouTube channel? We should post the link up on this.
Yeah, I've got my GeForce channel. If you go back in the history, the videos are all there. Okay. But I haven't put them. They're still all there, all the funny videos. I got millions of views. But I always enjoyed part of training. You know, it's got to be fun. You're spending so much time in jiu-jitsu. If you're not laughing and you don't have a sense of humor, then what are you doing there? You're just training and training sense of humor. There's got to be fun. There's got to be bullying. There's got to be, but all, you know, in a funny way. So we always try to keep it fun.
Absolutely
awesome. So yeah, we're almost out of time. Was there any other things you wanted to say? Do you had any other comments or points you want to make before we finish up?
I just wanted to touch quickly, you know, with the competition. I just wanted to mention that we're taking it very serious. We've got Gustavo involved as well with regards to checklists. So he's training all our referees. I refer everything back to him because he's got a lot of experience. I really want to drive that competition into a big success and make it like a great event for kids and make it a lot of fun. And other than that, no, just thank you for your time. I really enjoyed it. And that's about it.
Yeah, thank you. So, 22nd of August, guys, get your registrations in. We've got all the links on the show notes. We've got a YouTube channel. We've got this on Spotify, iTunes, Instagram, Facebook, all the places. So if you could share it on your networks too, that'll help grow our audience, and we'll try and help you out as well for your event. But sounds like it's going to be a cracker. So really looking forward to it.
And
thank you so much.
And the open mat on the 15th of August as well, everybody.
Yeah, the open mat will be popular.
Yeah.
So that will be great. Yeah, so we're doing, like you said, monthly masters, but the opposite way around.
I love it. They can you can bring them up this way, then they can get really old and come to the monthly master.
Yeah. So, we get them out.
Bring them for me, man. It's perfect. It's great.
I'm getting them ready.
Awesome.
Cool. All right.
Everybody. Thank you so much for your time. Take care. Cheers.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.